from. Kali Keme probably had never spent up to 3 or 4 years in Nigeria before we brought him in as a goalkeeper. Okay, Kali Keme had issues. Instead of looking inwards, we continued searching abroad and looking for, goalkeepers from the foreign scene. We went to a 4th division club in Dusseldorf to actually pick up if you hear it, I think it's the Fortuna Dusseldorf 1. This is about Fortuna Dusseldorf 3 or 4 to pick Maduka Okoye. As we speak, we are also searching for other goalkeepers from the 4. It doesn't work that way, and that is where the problem is coming from. Francis Uzo, the reason why I feel he even gets it ignored is because he plays abroad. If Francis Uzo was playing for Imba, I bet you he would not get a shot. So I think we're actually the problem. It's not because the talents are not here. If we could produce Best Ogedegbe, if we could produce Peter Rufai, if we could produce Emmanuel Okala, if we could produce Vincent Enyama from this league, then I think we can actually we can actually go back and see the array of goalkeepers we do have, and we can find 1 or 2 of them that can be good enough to play for the national team. The pride of doing well for your team here in Nigeria is actually being given a shot in national team in those days, but it's no longer the case.
According to Super Eagles goalkeeper trainer, that's Aloysius Agu, who was a former goalkeeper of the Super Eagles or the national team. He says that the number 1 position in the national team is still very open. Now we look at the current goalkeepers that we have in the squad. We look at Maduka Okoye, Ikechukwu Ezenwa, Daniel Akpeyi, Francis Uzo, and also Theophilus Afelohi. If we are to give one of these guys the number 1, or make one of these guys the number 1 shot stopper, who would you choose as Get Up Raw?
Honestly, if I'm to pick rather among all these guys, honestly, I would only consider Daniel Akpeyi, if you ask me, and Theophilus Afelohi. But I know Genotro might not go with these my options, and I think I know the options Genotro is obvious. Francis Uzoho will be Genotro's first choice. I'm sure it will be his first choice till Thy Kingdom Come. Daniel Akpeyi will be the next person after that, and Ezenwa will remain the 3rd choice. Even if Ezenwa plays for defunct Abiola Babes, even if Ezenwa decides to play for what's this team now on the other side of the divide in the NNL, maybe Oloruleke FC or Port Harcourt City Stars, he would still be Nigeria's 3rd choice goalkeeper. And that slot is just because we asked for MPFL goalkeepers to actually be MPFL players rather to actually get a look in. I think that's why he even gets that shot. I don't know, but not being sentimental about this, I feel Ikechukwu Ezenwa is not the best goalkeeper we have in the MPFL. And even at that, how many chances have they given to Ikechukwu Ezenwa, in goal? I still feel it's G3. I feel it's G3 anyway. But you can actually try out.
Which of these players are in G3?
No, I think Ikechukwu Ezenwa is actually he gets a lot of because they don't give him that chance, and he knows if you taste this goal today, if you're in goal today, you might not see it again for the next 1 year or even 2 years. So once he gets into that, you know how it feels if you're in a kind of test where any mistake you make will be counted. You tend to actually fret, and that's why I feel that Akpeyi too had his own fair share of issues. He does well for his club right there in South Africa, but when he comes back to the national team, most times you tend to ask what is going on because the confidence is not there in the man.
Okay.
So when he gets there, it tends to, because he knows you don't have confidence in him. You're waiting for him to sleep so you can criticize him and all that. So I feel if we get to look into the MPFL, we can even find better goalkeepers that can compete favorably with Francis Uzoho. We can decent names that can compete favorably, but as I would still say it, what I would choose, maybe I'll pick Theophilus Afelohi and then Akpeyi to compete for the number 1 shot. But for Genotro, it remains if it's Francis Uzoho would be his first choice, Daniel Akpeyi would be his second choice, and Ikechukwu Ezenwa will be
how about Maduka Okoye?
Until they Maduka Okoye probably might even come ahead of Ezenwa at some point. But I think he might not usurp Akpeyi, depending on his performance. Maybe he might consider that, but he will not usurp Akpeyi for the main time. But I know Francis Uzoho remains Genotro's first choice. Maybe till when any of these players decide to retire from the national team.
Okay, now coming back to the comments of the chairman, Christian Chukwu. First of all, you know that Nigerians produce great goalkeepers, the likes of Best Ogedengbe, Peter Rufai, Emmanuel Okala, Peter Fregene. I mean, there's so much. Joe Eriku. Who would you tag as Nigeria's all-time best goalkeeper?
Well, Victor, is actually a very, very big argument as per who Nigerian best goalkeeper would be over the years.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of good performances put out there by these goalkeepers, these names you've mentioned. I think what I will do first is let me try to highlight what they've done. Emmanuel Okala, most people might not know him. I for one, I wasn't even born when he was in between the sticks for the Super Eagles, but he did play for Enugu Rangers. I spent about nine years with them.